Hello, everyone. Uh, Thanks for joining in. Looks like we are live. Hi, Razvir. Hi, Raz, Omar, Harpriya, Vikram, Pavan. Thanks for joining in. So we have Rajan with us. He is senior developer at VideoSDK.live. Hi, Rajan. How are you doing?
Hey, hi guys, how are you doing?
Uh, awesome. So let's wait for a minute. Then we'll get things going. We'll wait for a minute, then we'll start with today's webinar, which is interactive live streaming. We have everything ready for you. So, uh, yeah, I think we can get started, right? Okay, let me share my screen. Is it visible? Uh, Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's fantastic to have you join us today. Today, we are diving into interactive live streaming. So, we are going to display how you can implement interactive live streaming in a Flutter app. Look at this image. That's the kind of experience we are going to build. So previously we had a live streaming protocol like HLS, but they weren't as perfect as they should be. They were not made for interactive streaming where we have a lot of participant. They are interacting with host. They are demanding things. They are you know uh, they are like chatting and doing everything. So today we are going to show you interactive live streaming that we have built. Okay, so let's start with today's agenda. So we'll start with clarifying a fundamental concept, which is HLS. HLS stand for HTTP live streaming. So we'll discuss that in next slide. Then we are going to talk about architecture of our ILS streaming application. Then Rajan is going to help us build interactive live streaming app in Flutter, and finally we'll take questions from the audience. Okay, so let's understand difference between HLS and ILS. So as I already told you, HLS stand for HTTP live streaming. So HLS is a popular protocol for delivering video content, and the only problem with HLS is the latency. Sometimes it could go up to 1 minute if there are a lot of participants join in a session. And another major issue with HLS is buffering. Because HLS has buffering, it's not suitable for interactive streaming. That's why we introduced interactive live streaming where we can have multiple participants. So in HLS, there's a delay which is fine for traditional broadcast like broadcasting a TV show or a pre-recorded stream. But for interactive experiences like having a Q&A session, having a live auction where people are selling stuff, right? We need interactive live streaming. And another thing is, if there is even a 1 second delay in a live stream, that is noticeable by audience. So that's not the thing that you are going to face with ILS. Okay, so next, let's try to understand architecture of ILS. So we have these core components where we have video SDK server. You can easily create a room. You can join existing room. We provide additional feature like we have collaborative feature where you can build chat, where you can have storage. You can have your own storage. So these are the major component where we have these different SDK we provide. With the help of SDK, you can talk to video SDK server. So it doesn't matter the kind of SDK you are choosing, whether you are choosing a Flutter or React or React Native or a cross-platform SDK. So they are all going through same connection. Okay, so let's talk about different type of clients. So we have two type of client. Very first client is going to be host. So host can share its stream. Host can consume other co-host stream. But the second client we have, which is second client we have audience. So audience can't consume co-host stream. I mean, audience can consume co-host stream, but they can't share their stream with co-host. So audience is just like a member who is listening, but definitely they can interact in a live stream. They can ask questions, they can talk to host, right? So there are a whole bunch of feature, and obviously you can customize it. Let's say there is a host who want to turn a audience member into co-host, so that is possible as well. So the flow is very simple. Client authenticate, client app first authenticate by generating video SDK token. For that we need a server, but in this example we are going to generate the token on video SDK's dashboard, so that we don't complicate things. So once we generate a token, we can access video SDK's resource. We can easily create room, we can easily configure storage, and we can do a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so good news for you. So we provide 10,000 free minutes every month. So you have enough time to explore our product. Next, I would like to invite Rajan. So Rajan is a senior developer at VideoSDK.live. Uh, Hi Rajan.
Hey guys, let's dive right into the live coding session as you guys are eagerly waiting for it. I'll share my screen and we'll get started. I hope my screen is visible to you guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's visible.
So we'll be keeping this very simple. We'll start from VideoSDK Live, our website, and we'll jump into our docs. Since we are using Flutter for today's webinar, we'll go to the Flutter documentation and we'll be following the start with interactive live streaming guide. You can also follow along with me if you feel free. And yeah, so the basic requisite to have and set up Video SDK is to have an Video SDK account, right? Which you can sign up from this particular link here. And also you should have a basic understanding of Flutter as expected, since you are driving and creating a Flutter app right now. So let's start with the first step, create a Scratch project. I'll open my terminal here and we'll create a new project. I'll open it into my code editor as well, so it's easy to follow along. Okay, so I have my project here. So let's see what's the next step. Okay, so now since our project is ready, we'll first install the dependencies that we need. The first one is the Video SDK itself, and the other one is the HTTP package, which we will use to send out HTTP API calls, allowing us to create new rooms on the Video SDK's platform, right? We'll be following this particular project structure, where we'll be creating following files, each responsible for single thing: API call dart, a file responsible to create API calls, allowing us to create new rooms; ILS screen, which will hold the complete view for our interactive live stream; ILS view file, which will aggregate all these particular small components that we would be building around it. Join screen would be the first screen that user would see, where the audience or host could join the live stream. The main.dart file, which is by default created and it's the entry point for our app. Live stream controls, which will house all the buttons and controls that the user would have. If it's a host, it would be toggling mic and camera, and if it's audience, then it would be a button to change the and join the live stream. ParticipantTile, which would be responsible for showcasing the video and audio of hosts; and participant grid, since we might have multiple hosts and co-hosts with us, so we'll have a grid kind of a setup, which would allow us to show all of them in a very well-formed manner. So this is how the screens would look like. This in center you are seeing is the joining screen, from where we have three buttons in a text field. The first button would allow you to create a particular new live stream and directly join it as a host. And since we have already started a live stream, once we click this button, we can pass on the ID that you see here in the top URL. And you can paste that meeting ID here or live stream ID here and join as audience or a host as you wish. So before starting, we'll first configure our projects. Since we'll be using audio video services, we'll first edit them to a manifest file so that Android knows that we are going to use these permissions. I'll go to the manifest file and declare the permissions here. And same I'll do for the iOS as well. I'll add the camera and microphone permissions in the info plist file. Okay, so now first step is to start with the API call. We'll need a room ID or an live stream ID that would be referring in this app. And I have written a code here which hits an API of VideoSDK along with the authentication token that we would be generating from the dashboard itself for the time being, and it would return the live stream ID to us. So let's create a first file. Now it says here I have to enter a token, right? So I'll just go to VideoSDK's dashboard. I'll go to the API's key section and I'll generate a temporary token from here. You can generate any of this particular durations. I would recommend always keeping it to 7 days since it's a temporary token and we don't want users to misuse it. I'll copy this token and paste it here as directed. Now let's look what's the next step look like. Now, as Sumit earlier mentioned, that there are two different modes a user can join. One is for host, and for host, we would be using send and receive mode, since the host is capable of receiving media from co-hosts as well, and he should be also able to publish his own media. Whereas audience would be joining in receive only mode, since their sole purpose is to receive the media coming from hosts and co-hosts, right? So that's how we'll set up this particular app. Now we'll create the join screen first. I'll copy the code from here and create a new file for them. You might see some errors because we are yet to create this particular file. So we can ignore those for a moment. I have here three buttons. First is create button, with all it does is create the live stream using the function that we created earlier, the API call. And once I have the room ID, I'll just pass it on and to the next screen, which is our ILS screen, along with the token and mode as send and receive, since this would be the host joining or creating the live stream, right? And once you have uh, a room ID or live stream ID, you can put it in the text field. And when you click on the join button, you would be able to navigate to that particular live stream ID along with the token and the mode that you have selected. If it's audience, it would be receive only, and if it's a host, it would be send and receive. So with this, let's set up the entry point of our app as join screen. So I'll copy this code here and update my main.dart file to be join screen as my initial main entry point for the app. If you would run the app right now, it would look something like this. So now let's create the ILS screen first. It would be housing all of our major components of the ILS screen. So all it has is, what it does is, once it will have the room id or live stream id and token, it would create a new video sdk room using the mode provided, which would be send and receive or receive only mode. And it would set a local state for to identify that who is the user joining, and then we'll call room.join method to join the live stream. We have a few callbacks set up here, which would allow us to know if we have entered the room or left the room. So the event names are room joined and room left. Now let's move further into the tutorial. Now let's implement the view that we will be showing to the host and audience. The first and foremost is the tile which would render the audio and video for the participants. Name is participant tile. What this does is, it would receive a participant object, which is an object of video SDK. It would house all the details about a particular audience member or a host member who has joined. It could be name, his status of audio and video, or audio and video streams itself. We have also set up a few listeners, which will allow us to identify if a user is turning his or her audio and video on during the live stream, and we can update the states accordingly. So we have the tile ready. Now we'll arrange these tiles into a grid layout format so that all the host members are visible on the screen. What we have done here is we have taken the room object, and we have prepared a list of all the available attendees and the host in the screen. And we have set the max screen on screen participants as 6, so maximum 6 hosts or co-hosts would be visible. And we have set up listeners so that we know if someone joins or leaves the room, and will update the uh, view of the ILS screen accordingly. We have also set up another event, which is participant mode change, which will allow us to identify if our audience member is turning into a host or a host member is turning into an audience. And similarly, we'll update the UI screens accordingly. With this, the next step is to add the live stream controls. So these are a simple stateful widget, which will have 4 buttons. Okay, it would have 4 buttons. If the member is an host, then he would have been showing 3 buttons: one to toggle his microphone, one to toggle his camera, and one to toggle the mode and switch into an audience mode. And if he or she is in an audience mode, he would see 1 button, uh, clicking which he would be able to turn to a host. Now let's aggregate all of this into an ILS view. So, all these different components that we created. Okay. All we have done here is put up some copy buttons for the live stream ID, a leave button to leave the live stream, and the participant grid and the live stream controls that we saw right previously. So with this, we are ready to rock this app. I'll hit live running button, go to the main dart, create a launch file, and I'll first run it on my app. to solve this issue. It's an environment issue that I have on my PC. Okay. Since this is a newer project, we'll update the minimum SDK version required to 23. Okay, I see the app has been built and it's ready to live. We'll see the app running here. Okay, it has launched. So now what I'll do is I'll create a new live stream and I would join it. As you can see, I'm already live now. Now I'll run it on a different app, different device. Okay, so it's running on the other device. Now I'll enter the live stream ID that I see on my screen to join as an audience. And I'll click join live stream as an audience. So you can see, so you can see that the audience, I have joined as an audience as well. Now I'll request Sumit, who is holding that device, viewing my live stream, to join me as a host by clicking that particular button.
It looks like I'm live again.
Okay, it has asked for permissions, and Sumit is live with me as an host.
I'm live again. Hi.
Okay.
So this is what we built, and we built this for all the SDKs, and we can have a lot of participants like that. So we support like around 2,000. 2,000 participants or so.
Yeah. And it's not limited to 2000 participants. If you wish to have more, you can just reach out to a support team or sales team and we'll get you started.
Perfect.
Okay. So this was all about having a basic setup running for the live stream. Uh, we have additional features like how you can have different interactions and which you can do like raise hand. You can go through our documentations and see how you can build this kind of a feature. If you have queries anytime, you can always ask us on Discord, and our support team is always ready to help you.
Thanks, Rajan, for such a nice implementation guide. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. What was the issue? Okay, so Rajan can explain it.
Yeah, so it was basically a Gradle configuration issue on my device. Since the new Flutter apps that we build require minimum SDK version as 23, so which was not set up and it threw an error.
Yeah, that happens. Uh, okay,
Development is a game, so anytime things can come up.
yeah. So we'll wait for a few more questions if there is any. Yeah, so looks like that's all we have. Thanks, Rajan. Thanks for your time, and thanks for such a nice implementation guide.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us.